Guys, we're back with another Nomad video, another Nomad interview. This time I am with Taylor. I'm just going to invite her on and we will get started shortly. Hello,
Hey,
how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Are you in Colombia right now?
Yes, in Colombia, in Palomino in the north.
Nice. Is it nice there?
It's really nice. Yeah, the weather's perfect.
I'm very jealous. My British weather is not doing me good today. Did you just want to start off by introducing yourself and what you do?
For sure. So, my name's Taylor. Right now I'm going through a bit of a career gap. So I was doing remote work as a software developer, and now I'm traveling full time, doing a bit of travel blogging and just enjoying myself before I start work again in a couple months.
Nice, nice. So what was the moment that you realised that you wanted to be a digital nomad?
I'd say the pandemic definitely contributed. So I was working remote pretty much the entire time, and I realized that I was the whole time I was just focusing on if I could travel, I wanted to travel because none of us really could for a bit. But
Yeah,
I realized you can do all of your work from wherever in the world, especially like I work in software, so I'm working on my computer. I
yeah,
realized there was no reason for me to be in a city I didn't love, that I could kind of go as I please to different places. And I have a passion for travel, so it kind of felt perfect.
yeah. How long have you been traveling for as a nomad?
Um, since September
Oh, really?
of 2021. Yeah.
Yeah. So not that long then.
Yeah, no, not a super long time.
Yeah,
I started doing remote work, when would that be? March 2020.
yeah,
And so was remote working that whole time and periodically was at other people's places. Like I was at the beach for a couple months, things like that. But in
yeah.
terms of actually being fully on the road with like just a backpack, only since September. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
How was it adjusting from like going to into remote work, like just from living in one place? What was it like?
It's very different, especially versus traveling normally and traveling like this. You have to kind of make sure you have really good Wi-Fi. You have to have more space. And I'm not used to that with traveling. I'm used to kind of going wherever I want, doing whatever I please. So it takes a little bit more scoping out of the places, I guess, which is why Nomad Stay is excellent.
Yeah. Good information.
um, yeah, and a little bit more self motivation, like I don't know, you're not having your alarm clock ring at the same time every day in your own bed.
Yeah,
You're somewhere new.
yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah.
Where have you been like since? Because you're in Colombia now. Like, how many places have you been since you started traveling?
So I started actually in Europe, and so I was in Greece, and then Turkey, and also Georgia.
Oh
And
yeah,
then I went home for the holidays for a bit. COVID was getting kind of bad, and I needed a bit of a break. So I went home for a little bit, and then now I'm doing South America. So I did Peru, Ecuador, and then Colombia.
nice. Are you planning to stay in South America for a while, or are you gonna hop on to the next thing?
I'm planning to stay for at least a little bit. So I'm here for another month. Then
Yeah,
I have to go home to handle a couple things. And after that, I'll probably go to Mexico for the summer, but nothing's set in stone. I guess that's the benefit of all this.
yeah, I guess. Don't
Yeah,
plan anything too extensively.
for sure. Yeah.
So, what are your? I know your main thing is traveling like on a budget. What are like your
Uh-huh.
main for traveling?
Oh, sorry. Can you repeat that? My Wi-Fi is not great.
Right. What are your main tips for traveling on a budget?
Oh, yeah. So, number one tip I think is definitely being flexible with your time. So, if you pick exact dates, you're never going to get a very good price on your flights or sometimes your accommodation, things like that.
Yeah.
So, just kind of add a lot of flexibility. Um, Second is cooking your own food when you can. It's so tempting to want to eat out, but it also just gets exhausting. Like no one wants to eat out for 6 months straight.
Yeah.
So always good. Just kind of like pretend you're at home. You don't have to do a huge activity every day. You don't have to have a really nice meal out every day.
Yeah.
Do what you would do if you were in your own home doing your own thing. And especially treat the weekends like they're a weekend.
Yeah. Feel like it is a normal lifestyle.
Yeah, for sure. Because if you treat it like a vacation, it'll get really expensive really fast and you'll
Yeah.
get really tired too.
It's probably hard with work as well to treat it like a vacation if you're working as you're traveling.
Yeah, definitely.
So, is it difficult, speaking about work and traveling, is it difficult to step out of the work mindset when you're like, or step into the work mindset while you're away?
Yeah, definitely. I think you need to compartmentalize it a little bit. There's a lot of times where your friends will be off doing something or want to go, and you kind of have to take the mental step back and be like, no, I'm going to stay in today. I'm going to get some work done.
Yeah.
Because again, you can't always be in vacation, and sometimes it's not fun. You meet really cool people, and you want to go with them, and also sometimes you break the rules and you go with them anyway.
Yeah.
So you kind of got to know when to go and when to not.
Yeah. No, yeah, that sounds good. Sounds like you're learning as you go along as well.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
So what has been like your favorite part of being a digital nomad so far? Like in your experience so far, what has been your favorite part?
My favorite part has been the flexibility to kind of stay in places for a long amount of time. So I
Yeah.
used to do shorter trips, maybe a week long, and you were just rushing from city to city or country to country, maybe 3 days in each place.
Yeah.
Whereas now I'm like minimum a week if I stay in one place. Or like Colombia, I'm going to be here for 2 months.
Yeah.
Whereas before I would have never had that flexibility or that opportunity. So that's definitely my favorite part, the ability to kind of extend your time and take your time.
Yeah, I think extended stays are really good. Really good.
For sure.
Do you find it difficult, like to settle down in different cultures? Because you're obviously like going different places within like so many places in 1 year. Is it difficult to be immersed in so much?
Yeah, it takes a lot of flexibility, I think, and open-mindedness.
Yeah.
The first week anywhere is always a bit more difficult, getting used to a local language and a local culture and figuring out how things work. But you kind of just have to go with the flow.
Yeah.
I think it's a lot easier in South America. While the cultures are very different between countries, you at least have generally the same language.
Yeah.
Which helps a ton. I think the language part is always the hardest in going to new places. So that makes South America a bit easier for long-term travel, I think.
Yeah. Do you know any other languages other than English?
No, I know a bit of Spanish, and I'm taking Spanish lessons while I'm here, which is helping a lot.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea. Because you're in Colombia.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah.
So I saw that you went to the I've forgotten how to pronounce it now. Was the Galapagos Islands?
Oh, the Galapagos Islands. Yeah,
Yeah.
in Ecuador.
I was like trying to spell it out in my head. And yeah, I saw you went there and you were surrounded by so much wildlife. Is that something that you look for when you plan where to go next?
So that's something really new for me. I try to kind of step out of my comfort zone. I've never been a huge wildlife person. I love pets, but I've never been around enough. And I thought that would be something new, you know?
Yeah.
So I'd never seeked that out before, but now that I've been there, I think I'm going to seek it out forever because the wildlife there was so incredible. Yeah.
Yeah. What was the best animal that you saw there?
I think the best was the giant tortoises.
Oh yeah.
Like they're truly like if you curled up into a ball, they'd still be bigger than you. It was absolutely insane to see them. It kind of felt like looking at a dinosaur. It was so different than anything I'd ever seen before.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
So what are you planning like next? Like obviously you said that you're going to stay in South America for a little while. Is there any like big career that you want to make in the next few years or something?
Yeah, so my next big step is after I'm done kind of traveling a bit in between work, I'm going to get a different remote job. I'm
Yeah,
thinking a remote 9 to 5,
yeah,
though the time flexibility could be better. It's just so reliable,
yeah,
but still allows you to kind of travel for a bit. So that's my next step for sure is going back a little bit corporate
yeah,
and I don't know, having a more steady income, which would be really,
yeah.
really nice.
A bit more routine would be nice.
Yeah. Yeah. Once you travel so much for a long time, a routine is actually lovely.
Yeah. Do you feel like you get overwhelmed sometimes when you travel too much?
Yeah, for sure. Especially if I move around to too many different places.
Yeah,
Um, like I said, it's always better. I feel better if I stay in a city for at least a week or something. Then you don't get as overwhelmed so fast. But if I do like 3 days and 3 days, it can add up quickly. Yeah.
yeah, definitely. So, what are your tips for traveling as a solo female traveler?
hmm Um, Number one is to just always vet what I'm gonna do next. So I'm always going to look up the bus route. I'm gonna have it mapped out on my phone. I'm gonna have a SIM card so I stay connected. Though I think going off grid is great, I think as a solo female you have to, I don't know, you have to take some precautions and make sure that you're always connected and I don't know, have a reliable cell signal, have a plan. Another thing
Yeah,
that I do is I have like my location is always shared with my mom and my boyfriend. People know where I am. So that gives me a little bit of peace of mind.
yeah,
Uh, that helps a lot. And then also just, I don't know, doing your research, making sure you're going to a place that's fairly safe, staying at a hostel where a lot of other solo females have left reviews and think it's safe as well.
yeah,
Because once you do that, it's traveling as a solo female, it doesn't feel dangerous, it doesn't feel unsafe. Just do a little bit of research and then I think you're good.
yeah. No, that yeah. As long as you know you're safe and you've got people around you who can help you out just in case.
For sure. Yeah.
Do you find it hard to like keep your connection with your family as you're traveling?
Yeah, it can be pretty difficult, um, especially if I don't have a good Wi-Fi connection or if the time zones are different. I'm
Oh,
lucky right now that in South America we're on almost the same time zone, so that's been really, really helpful and good.
yeah,
Versus when I'm in Europe, it's so easy to lose that connection because by the time I want to text them, they're asleep or vice versa.
yeah,
And so it's often just like sending a text out into the universe. And then when I wake up, hopefully I'll have a response or things like that.
yeah. And do you build a community as you travel? Like, have you picked up friends along the way?
Oh, absolutely. I feel like I haven't been alone for more than a day or two the whole time I've been traveling. You meet so many friends along the way.
Yeah.
Um, and I often end up traveling with them. I ended up traveling with one of my friends for almost 2 months back in Europe,
Oh,
where we
really?
just met randomly in Greece. Yeah. And even now I've been traveling on and off with another friend for about a month.
Yeah.
So it's honestly great. You meet people and it's so much more social than when you're at home. You just decide to, oh, I met you one day, let's go to this new city the next day.
Yeah.
It's really, really helpful.
Do
And
you?
also makes you feel safe, I think, as a solo female as well,
Yeah.
having a group.
Yeah. Do you meet people through like retreats or like co-working things, or do you like put yourself out there on socials, or how do you really meet people?
Yeah, so I meet a lot of people through hostels. I think they're very social and very good. Even if you're not staying at the hostel, you can still go there to meet people,
Yeah.
which I think is super, super nice. Hostels are inherently social, so that's probably my number one way. But
Yeah.
also I've met a lot of friends just on walking tours or on day trips places.
Yeah.
Um, you and on those you have to put yourself out there a little bit. If you see someone alone or just with one friend that looks like they're cool, just to go up to them and talk to them.
Yeah.
But those are kind of my best ways. Like put yourself out there, but hostels I think are always a really, really helpful way to meet people.
Yeah. Did you like, were you always like a sociable person, or did you feel like you had to put yourself out there and make yourself kind of grow that sort of personality?
I don't think I've always been very social. Definitely a little bit, but not super outgoing growing up. I think
Yeah,
I had to put myself out there when I started traveling around in hostels around like 18.
yeah.
And since then have grown tremendously. Like at this point, I would go up to someone sitting by themselves in a restaurant and say hi to them or things like that. Whereas before, I would never do that.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's good. I don't think I have any more questions for you. I think that's everything. Is there any more like tips or advice you want to give um just to digital nomads in general?
For sure. I think the number one thing is having that flexibility, not only with time, but with expectations. Sometimes the
Yeah,
Wi-Fi isn't going to be great. Sometimes you're going to be somewhere and I don't know, the bus might be late, things might happen. So you have to kind of have a bit more of a chill and relaxed mindset
yeah,
and not get overwhelmed when things go wrong, kind of go with the flow.
yeah,
Because when you're traveling, again, you don't have that routine of home, you don't have um, all the luxuries there. So things can change really quickly. And the second is mostly about being social, putting yourself out there. Um, Even when you're kind of not in a great mood and you just want to be alone, sitting with someone else at dinner or doing things like that, because the social aspect of travel is definitely my favorite.
really.
My favorite cities are not because the city was great. It's always because I met someone really, really nice in that city and
Oh,
wanted to travel with them or a group of people. Yeah,
are there any places like that that you would go back to just because you met so many nice people?
for sure. I think the Greek islands is a really, really top one for me. I met so many really awesome people there. It has a really nice backpacker and remote work scene. Everyone's just so
Yeah,
social. Yeah, especially the smaller islands that aren't as well known. They're huge.
yeah. Do
And
you do a lot
also
of backpacking?
Colombia. Yeah, I
Oh
do a lot of
yeah,
backpacking. I'm technically backpacking right now. And
yeah,
I think I prefer it that way. But I think as I grow older and do more remote work, I'll definitely be more co-working space, nomad stays,
yeah,
Airbnbs, things like that. But right
yeah.
now, I don't mind
Good.
slumming it a little bit, saving some money here and there. So it's been nice.
Yeah, that's very good.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining me. This was great.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I've had a great time.
Me too. Well, thank you everyone else for joining in. If you want have any questions, you can just this video is going to be saved onto our socials. So if you want to just pop any comments, questions in the comments, that's fine. We'll answer them. So thank you. Okay,
Thanks.
see you soon. Bye.
Bye.